Oh, the way I look like Charlie Chaplin right now. Oh my gosh, my job. Why is it like that? I used to be, when we had the old management, I was like regarded as, they ranked me as number two best employee out of 30 something. And the one that was above me, I don't disagree with that because he was ex-military and he was doing all sorts of tricks. I don't think I'm making the long list, guys. This new management, it's not that they don't like me, it's just that they brought along their own employees. They made deals with existing employees and they just have their favorites and they got bananas for brains. I mean, they clearly aren't doing the best work out of all of us. And it's not even that they're incapable of doing the best work, it's that they know that they don't have to because they're the favorites. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now with my job at the burrito factory. And there was a time before this new management where I got the hours that I wanted. I worked really hard to get the hours I wanted. It took a really long time because they had to like move other hours around to make space for the hours that I wanted, okay? And I got the hours that I wanted, and then I made some deals with some other coworkers so that they could get the hours that they wanted. So I compromised on the hours that I wanted so that they could get some of the hours that they wanted too. And so I was working mornings, and I kind of should only be working mornings because I have so many health complications that make it really difficult to work nights. Like I just have to work in the morning to keep everything in homeostasis. Look at me using big words. It's an issue of health that I should be working in the mornings, but I'm not. Once the new management came in, I got moved to all closing, so I'm getting home at midnight. And this random other employee that they brought in that did not work at this store ever before, random employee that they brought in is getting the hours I wanted just because management said this is the person. And when I see them work, I'm like, there ain't no fucking way. This person's on their phone. This person's watching sports on their phone. The way that these new employees, I should not be talking shit because it's bad karma, but like they also deserve it. It is so cursed to be on your phone in front of a person you don't even know. You didn't ask them, can I sit on my phone real quick in front of your face? I think it's so like asinine to do that. It's like so disrespectful. So we got employees sitting on their phone. I work so goddamn hard at that job that I don't even keep my phone on me. Because I know that I won't be able to check it. Because I know that I'll be working. So I work so hard at that job, I don't keep my phone on me. Because I would have to keep it in my pants pocket. And if I'm keeping it in my pants pocket, it's weighing me down. Because I need to have full range of mobility to work that damn job. Because I work my ass off at that job. So I cannot keep my phone on me because that is like a pound or some shit. A whole extra bunch of weight that I don't need to be carrying around if I need a full range of mobility. Oh my gosh. I never thought I'd be one of these people that would complain about work. Like, what am I, a man now? Like, it's so disgusting. But it gets to a point, you know? I'm moved to all closings now, so I'm closing 5 days a week, sometimes 6, because I'm not getting enough hours because they took my hours, gave it all to this person that don't do shit, put me at night, even though it adversely impacts my health. But I need the money, so I don't really have a choice. So I'm doing closings 5-6 times a week. Fuck, I worked 7 days in a row. And they come to me, they say, you can't take this long to do closings anymore. Knowing full damn well that I am genuinely the only person that does all of the closing tasks. The only one that I've ever seen in my entire life. The only one. Everyone else is cutting corners, skipping things, letting mold grow on the walls. Like, and I know that, and I think they know that too, even though they want to come to me and be like, you're not doing this. And I'm like, I literally know that I am doing that. This is my microphone today. I should hold the real microphone because y'all need to hear this. They came to me, said that the closings are taking too long and I need to be out of there a whole 30 minutes earlier at the latest. So really, they want me out of there a whole hour earlier. And it's just not possible. If you want me out of there earlier, you better start. But you better pay me more. That's the other thing. How are you going to ask me to do more than I've ever had to do in the 3, almost 4 years I've had this job? You're going to ask me to do more than I've ever had to do and not pay me a penny more. Just like, can you do everything in less time? No, I literally physically can't. It's impossible. I'm not two people. I'm one person. And also, you're not paying me enough. And also, you're not giving me the hours I want. And also, I'm your best employee. Run-of-the-mill job complaints. But it's like, genuinely having a job will make you be like, these people are making more money than me? These people are making 3 times more money than me. And they can't even handle this job. It's so crazy. Like, the people that are making the schedule, they make their own schedule and then they still can't handle the job. They schedule themselves for the times that they want with the people that they want, and they still can't handle the job. And they're making a fucking $1 billion. Like, they're making 3 times my income, possibly 4. It's like, God damn it, just give me the keys. But I don't want their job because I know that once you make a lot of money at a job, it's like they own you now, and that can't be me. I will get out of there at the time that you tell me to get out of there because I'm not risking getting fired. But guess what? Ain't shit gonna be done. Ain't shit gonna be done. You're gonna see how bad I can do these closings, and then you'll have no choice but to put me in the mornings. You will have no choice but to put me in the mornings because I'm going to fuck up those closings. Oh my goodness. That is not a threat. That is... I'm looking into the future and it already happened. Okay. It can't be a threat if it already happened. So anyway, I have to renew my Medicaid. So I'm not going to do that. The papers are going to sit here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk instead. Actually, like, what information do I need to provide? Oh, that's a lot of... Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's going to have to wait for the day before the due date. There are, a lot of YouTubers, TikTokers, just people telling their story. A lot of women telling their story about narcissistic mothers who are jealous of them. It's compelling. I love content like that because it's like, wow, that's so interesting. And it's also what I went through. There's a lot of women telling stories like that. And I will listen to that for hours and hours because it's so interesting. I resonate with it, but also everyone's got a little bit different story. Everyone's a little bit messed up in different ways. And it's very beautiful to see. In a sad way. I've seen all of this content and none of it has scratched my brain quite as well as seeing content that's specifically geared towards Black women. Because, newsflash, I am a white mom biracial, and so I have white mom biracial problems. But also, here's the interesting thing, okay? A lot of content geared towards, like, Black women, they make their content assuming that the people that are going to relate to them the most are people with 2 Black parents, and that might be true, but goddamn, nothing has resonated with me more than listening to these experiences. Because I've noticed, like, and these people will title their videos, like, my experience with being raised by a Black mother. Ooh, I've been watching so much of this. Jennifer, our niece, she makes the Black Mother One podcast. I'm pretty sure she's making her podcast with the assumption that the people listening probably have a Black mom that they were raised by that wounded them emotionally in some way. But listen, my white mom did the same thing to me. And that sounds nuts, but let me get into it. Let me cook here. After listening to so many of these stories over the years of Black women being raised in Black households and specifically what kind of trauma they've had, I've been able to figure out that, like, the common theme here is that they were racialized, as any Black person would be, but they were still racialized within their Black family. And it was weaponized against them for power and control. And the same thing happened to me. And obviously, I've read bell hooks, guys. I'm literate. So I know that when a Black parent does it, it's coming from a different place, different traumas, different motivations, things like they want to prepare their child for how the world's going to treat them. I know that my mom didn't have those same motives consciously or unconsciously because she's white. But, like, a lot of parents, regardless of race, they have kids and they're like, ooh, this is my moment for power and control over something. And they let it fly, man. They're like, what can I do to have the most power and the most control over this person? And oh my goodness, I've been the victim of so many. Is it dark outside already? Holy hell. It is 4:57 p.m. But, like, absolutely, my mom was egregiously racist to me. My entire extended family, implicitly and explicitly. But my mom, like, I spent the most time with her because she was a single mom. And it was really just me and my brother and her. And, like, it's impossible for someone like my mom to not be racist. There's something that FD Signifier said that he was cooking so hard. And I heard this like a couple years ago, him saying it. Probably not the first one at all to make this observation. Biracial people that are around their white families. I've heard Dr. Umar make this observation too. But don't listen to Dr. Umar. But like black people that are around white people a lot, they will experience the most racism out of anybody because they're around the most racist people, okay? And so in a way, there's a lot of things that make up black identity. And one of them is being racialized and being the recipient of egregious racism. And so in a way, black people that even though they're removed from their culture more than someone that's raised in blackness, black people that are raised around white people are kind of the most black because they know what that experience is kind of more than anyone else. And I say that in a way because there's so many experiences and just so many different things that make up the black experience. In America specifically, like people being egregiously racist to you, implicitly and explicitly, that's going to be like one of the top things that define the experience. If you could define it at all, I definitely experienced that. That's why I identify so heavily, despite being of two races, I identify so heavily with being black. I'm like, I do not claim the whiteness at all because historically, people that have interracial parents, even if one is white, they cannot be white historically. But, you know, I'm really interested to see how race is going to be conceived of in the future because it's obviously moving to this point where we're revising those things, and race is socially constructed, and so it's always going to be socially defined and redefined. So I'm just like really interested to see how it's going to be redefined. I'm seeing lots of things like people being like, you're not either race, you're biracial, which is very interesting. You're Schrodinger's white person. Don't get it twisted, guys. I don't identify with it because that just was not my experience growing up. I grew up in fuck-ass Indiana, southern Indiana, and that shit was more culturally Kentucky than Kentucky itself, you know? Like, but like, I kind of fuck with those people. You know, every time I watch like The Walking Dead, I'm like, Daryl Dixon is like the perfect like representation of that. And how did Norman Reedus lock in so hard on like a whole entire archetype of a person? Like that shit was authentic as hell. I'm like, I know several Daryl Dixons. That's the culture I was raised in, really. And you can understand how irritating that, grating and damaging it could be to be raised around people like that. I'm telling you now, 10 years ago, I was not considered as looking like everyone else. In bumfuck Indiana, I had curly hair. I had skin that was tanner than everyone. I have features that are considered exotic. I do. In bumfuck Indiana 10 years ago. And I got a fucking dump truck too. Listen, it's really interesting. I think my light's going out. I'm 26 now, and so it's really interesting being of an age where I could have lived in almost 3 decades, almost 3 different eras, seeing how trends really work. Because people seem to have short-term memory, or I don't know, but like I remember growing up in a time where my dump truck was fat to a degree that it was too fat. And I did not want that because it was shamed upon by all of society. And we all remember every single show, every single movie with a white person was like, does this dress make my butt look too big? That was a line of dialogue that for some reason, every screenwriter was addicted to. That's literally what I grew up with. And so like, I was like, yeah, get this off of me immediately, cover it. Like they cannot know that I have this. And now I live in a society where it's too damn small. It's not big enough somehow. And I grew up when it was shameful that there was any curve there. It's incredible. I remember watching the Tyra Banks show, and there was like a whole episode of, I don't know, I don't remember. Maybe Tyra said this. I don't remember. But someone black was on the show, and she was talking about how in school, this might have been America's Next Top Model. I think it was the Tyra show. Remember when she had a show? She was talking about like in elementary school, people would call her lips soup cooler lips. Like she was blowing on soup all the time because her lips were too big. And I remember seeing that and I was like, oh damn it, now I got new insecurity unlocked. Apparently this isn't cool anymore. And my lips were bigger than most people's, to my knowledge. And so I was like, get this shit off of me. And I'm pretty sure I walked around like this a lot for like 2 years. But then they came in, like big lips came into style, and then my lips were too small. Like you can't win. And it's really interesting being old enough to have lived through these different eras where I can be like, oh, so it was all bullshit the whole time. Y'all are just making shit up. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm the beauty standard. Okay, if we're making shit up, oh, my microphone. That section had shit audio. If we're making shit up, I'm the beauty standard. And unfortunately for you hoes, I woke up beautiful once again today. My haters are seething. What the hell was I talking about before that? Oh, the way I look like Charlie Chaplin right now. I got this hat when it was in style. If you're looking at me right now and saying, oh my gosh, she's so 2014 Tumblr chic, that's because that's when I got this hat, okay? But I also got this hat because I was really into classic movies. And I still am. From ages 11 up, I got so into classic movies. And by classic movies, I mean anything from before 1980. You know, I watched a lot of Charlie Chaplin movies. And so when I bought this hat, I was like, I want a Charlie Chaplin hat. And it's not exactly a Charlie Chaplin hat because Charlie Chaplin was trying to be goofy. And so he has a little bit of a goofier hat. I'm pretty sure. It is a bowler hat. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I just like, I love wearing things that people don't wear because they think that there's nothing to wear it with and it's out of style. And it's like, wearing things that people don't wear is like, it is such a reminder that people are just making shit up all the time. Like they're making up trends. Most people just don't have the time to not be basic. I understand that we're all just surviving. And that's why I do not fault the banana for brain employees at my burrito factory job because I understand they're all just trying to survive and they're not going out here being like, I'm going to do the worst job possible and fuck up everybody's business. They're too low in the chain to have that thought process. They're just surviving too. Not many people agree with me on this. Is that a helicopter? Why would a helicopter be there? Not many people agree with me on this, which is really weird because I feel like 10 years ago, people would have agreed with me on this. My unpopular opinion is that movies before 1980 were the best movies. They were way better. Way better. And I'm not saying that movies got worse in the 80s, but I'm also kind of saying that because I don't like 80s movies and I think, you know, 80s movies are their own type of thing. And there's a lot of 90s movies that I like too, and I think they're pretty good. When we get to the 2000s, movies are dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping. I'm not saying that there's no good movies in any decade, but I am saying that what are we doing, guys? We need to lock in right now. But I had the impression that it was popular knowledge that movies used to be so much better. Maybe a year or two ago, I went to a screening of Lawrence of Arabia because I was like, now's my chance to watch this 4 hour movie. And the screening was at like 9 a.m. because it's a 4 hour movie and that's like your whole day. But I went and it changed my life. And obviously, Lawrence of Arabia, it's not a subject matter that especially excites me because it's about this white guy. And that seems like the least interesting person in Arabia, you know? Like, well, why do we care about Lawrence? But why would Lawrence be there? After I watched it, I was like, I get it now. And I especially get why so many like old white people, especially old white men, are like, this is the greatest movie ever because it's a movie about them and it's a movie about their struggles. And I watched and I was like, I finally get what they're dealing with. I mean, not nobody has it easy in this life. And I watched Lawrence of Arabia and it made me cry because I was like, he did not have it easy either. He had a whole identity crisis. And that's what everyone struggles with trying to fit into anywhere. And that's what the movie was about. And like, why aren't we making Lawrence of Arabia's? And I'd have the answer for that. But like, damn. I watched that movie and I was like, this is a dead art form. You watch classic movies and genuinely, like, I have no interest in movies being made today because I know they're not that. Like, let's say we pick like Best Picture for each year. It's none of them are as good as Lawrence of Arabia. None of them are as Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. When I was younger, I watched the Sergio Leone Dollars trilogy, and it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life, and I will never be the same person again. Like, I can't imagine how lame I would be if I had never seen the spaghetti westerns. Incredible, immaculate masterpieces, like the fucking painting on the Sistine Chapel ceiling. And then like to be in this era where like the movies that we have are like, I was gonna talk shit about certain actors, but like I forgot I'm in this industry too. So let me not. Let me not talk shit on anything, as a matter of fact. Let me not name a damn thing. Let me just talk about how great these movies are. Yeah, it's just like, what? The art is not dead because there will always be creative people. There will always be like people with so much heart and soul. It makes me want to cry. Just making the most beautiful things. Like I Saw the TV Glow might be my favorite movie of all time because it's just such a beautiful story, and it's just told so well, and I just resonate with it so much. And we'll always have people making stories like that, but they're not going to be the ones getting all the money. They're not going to be the ones being handed budgets. Like Lawrence of Arabia could not be made today. It would not be made today. A 4 hour long movie about a man in the fucking desert, a white man in the desert. Lawrence of Arabia? Are you kidding me? No one would make that. And there hasn't been any remakes of it because it would be worse, first of all. But nobody would watch it. Nobody would give the budget for such a silly idea. Like, but then you see it being made, and you're like, I can't live without this. His history cannot live without a movie like that. And mind you, Lawrence of Arabia is not even nearly my favorite movie. It's not even a movie that I like would say that I like. It's not like my type of movie. It's not my style of movie. It's not my anything. It's just something that I watched and I was like, they did this so well. This is gorgeous. And that's kind of the beauty of it. It's so outside of my jurisdiction, and I was just like, I get it. But we're not making movies like that anymore, and that's what I'm trying to say here. At the invention of cinema, they're making incredible stuff. Georges Méliès is like one of my heroes. Like, what are you talking about? This man was doing illusions on camera, painting the film and doing these gorgeous things, making these gorgeous sets, costumes and props, and just beautiful, like things that we don't do. We don't do shit like that no more. We don't have art styles like that no more. We don't want to tell stories about going to the moon that don't look realistic. Everything's got to be so realistic, which means everything has to be CGI and look like a cartoon. That's where we're at right now. We think realistic is when it's CGI. If I made a movie, I would just love to do everything so analog. I want everything to look like Lazy Town. I want puppets, I want painted sets. I need it to look like German Expressionism, low-key. I need it to look like the cabinet of Dr. Caligari, but with the color palette of Lazy Town. Like, I need you to know that nothing here was done on a computer. There's no actors anymore. Like, what the hell is that about? I'm kind of familiar with how Hollywood was fucking people up. Judy Garland's like one of my favorite actresses. Like, probably my favorite actress, and she has been for 15 years. Which is interesting because I recently found out one of Jeff Buckley's biggest inspirations was Judy Garland. And if you don't know, Jeff Buckley is my everything. He was my everything. I am who I am because of Jeff Buckley. And I got a poster of Jeff Buckley that I've had for 10 years on this wall over here. And you can't see it. And you won't because it's my poster. But like, I was recently reading about like what happened to Judy Garland, and I was like, damn. But like, those movies were great. And it doesn't justify it. And we could make movies without having to do that. Like, that's the other thing that's like crazy, is that we can make movies that are like that without having to do that. Humans are so fucked up. Like, every era, every decade, even if you look back at the art and you're like, wow, that was great, we could have done that without the egregious suffering. Why did we need to do the egregious suffering part? Despite all that going on, actors back then were immaculate, incredible. And also, why does all my favorite actors were fucking phased out by McCarthyism? Like, the fact that we don't have movies that otherwise would have existed if not for how fucking stupid this dumbass country is. Gene Kelly, I've probably watched one Gene Kelly film before I was like, this is my favorite person. Oh my gosh. To this day. Gene Kelly. Give it up for Gene Kelly, guys. And Charlie Chaplin, I think it's probably the greatest filmmaker of all time. I mean, it would kind of be unreasonable to disagree with that statement. What's funny about Charlie Chaplin is that apparently he was just egregious to women and children. And sometimes he married women who were children. So, girls. Again, we don't need all that to happen to make a great movie. But, like, whatever. Yeah, we need to lock in, because the movies just aren't as good as they used to be. And I look at movies back then, and they were so colorful and beautiful and just, like, and so intentional. And so well choreographed, whether or not they were dancing. Just everything was top tier. You can tell I'm a white mom biracial by how my hair is matting up for no reason. The wind blows and Looks like I'm growing locks now. I do not have any beef with biracials at all because I am one. But also there are occasions where I come across a biracial, I'm like, God damn, why are they like that? Why would that be the thing that you choose to be? Here's the line of demarcation, all right. Did your white family fuck with you or did they not? Did you benefit from having a white family or did you experience incredibly deleterious impacts from having a white family? If your white family fucked with you and you benefited from that, you're probably gonna be a little bit of a race traitor. You're probably gonna get lost to the race drafts, okay? We kind of don't want you. But if your white family fucking low key hated your ass, then you're good. You're one of us. You are a black person, and I will always identify as that because, Lord, how do white people get like that? It's like the difference between people that are raised by fully black families and people that have a little bit of an influence from their white family or a lot of bit of an influence from their white family. The big difference is like shame. I was listening to Psychology in Seattle, and Kirk Honda came up. He, I guess, made this observation or whatever. Just knows white people are incredibly uptight, and it comes from long time ago. A lot of them immigrating from, I guess, all of them immigrated from Europe. They're just like that's part of the culture. It's just like a culture of uptightness. Maybe it's the weather over there. They're uptight and they're shameful. And here's the other thing: they traded their culture to experience the benefits of whiteness. And that's also something that just makes me like, fuck you guys. My surviving family, the only family that I really know of, they are Latvian. They immigrated from Latvia. And so my grandma's first generation and my mom's second generation, and then there's me. And they chose to assimilate, and it's not really much of a choice because it was survival. Okay, you're in bumfuck Indiana. What the fuck else are you gonna do as a Latvian? You're from a country that no one else has heard of. Because they're American. And Americans don't know what countries are besides their own. So like what else are you going to do but assimilate? But like also in that choice to assimilate is the choice that I'm going to give up my own culture, my own identity for this new identity of whiteness, which is going to benefit me more. And for that reason, I'm going to have to say fuck you guys because you just sold your soul. They own you now. In white America, in the dominant culture, there's so much shame because it's shameful to be who you are because you're supposed to have given up your identity for whiteness, because whiteness is an identity of no identity. It's an identity of not being racialized, of being the default. You're just not thought of in any particular negative way because you're just like you just are. And that's a huge benefit socially. But mentally, spiritually, you're cooked. And so for that reason, fuck you guys. And the only white people I can really fuck with is white people that divorce themselves. They have decolonized their mind and they are in the process of further decolonizing their mind. And they say, I don't want that privilege. Because with that privilege comes responsibility to uphold that privilege, to shit on other people. It's a burden. It's a burden. Lawrence of Arabia, you guys gotta watch it because it's really about that. It is a burden to be a white person. Gotta be an asshole. You have to. It's in our dominant culture. Part of the way that white supremacy works is that it's invisible. And so people don't even realize that they are seeing you as inferior. They're just like, it just is. It just is. You are inferior, and that's just the way it is. That's just who's gonna disagree with me. But compare that to these stories I hear about from black women, and even though their mothers could be raging narcissists or whatever, they are not as ashamed of their black identity. They just aren't. There is a component of pride in the culture that's, if you're raised around enough black people, you're gonna gain that, and you're not gonna question if you're worthy or not. White people, they question. It's so ridiculous. They question if they're worthy all the time. That's like the whole point of being white, is to question if you're worthy all the time, so that you will have a fire lit under your ass, so that you will produce more for the man. I did miss out on having that inherent, just like, I am so proud of who I am. But like, I did end up growing some of it back. I do not let people tell me what I am. It ain't gonna happen. But at the same time, I do feel a little bit ugly right now. Maybe not right now. I'm kind of serving looks. I got a hat on. Yeah, so my Medicaid renewal forms did not get filled out. They're asking if I was pregnant. That'd be crazy. That'd be so crazy. Women who go through pregnancy they're kind of like gods among men. But also, what are you, fucking stupid? Why would you do that? But you're also kind of a god among men. People disagree with me about movies, how movies used to be so much better. And I thought it was common knowledge, but it's becoming less and less common knowledge because we're forgetting. We're like losing the recipe. Like, people aren't watching movies that are older than 20 years. You can see it in real time. Like, people are only wanting to make, and when I say people, I mean the people that have a lot of money are only willing to make movies that will guarantee like a big ass profit. And usually those movies are dog shit. It's like existing IPs, sequels, remake. We don't value actors the same way. Like, actors used to be like the whole reason. I remember like when I was like seeking out classic movies to watch, it gets to the point where I had seen enough where I was like, I want to watch a movie with this actor in it. I was on a, for some reason I was on a Frederick March kick. Because the movie stars back then, they were just like magnetic enough where I was like, I gotta see them in more stuff. And people kind of function like that nowadays too, but like, it's not the same. Like, you don't understand. Man, the stars were really they were bringing in the audiences for real. Like, the whole construction around stars, I miss it. And it would be so fun to have that today, because, you know, I just love being in fandom. Not even necessarily being in fandom, because other people get exhausting, but I love celebrating a person. I'm like, yes, I like what they do. I support this person. This person can speak for me in certain ways. I elevate them. I choose to elevate them. There's a certain level of empowerment in that, because it's like, there's something that they have that I also have. Maybe something in me is resonating with this person, and I choose to invest in them because I invest in myself. It's like something like that. It's something like that. Don't think about it too hard. People have not sat down, put their TikTok down, and watched these gorgeous films. Because if they had, they would realize how cheated they're being. But I know for a fact that the artists that are going to be coming out today, they have the most incredible ideas that have never seen the light of day. I know it. I feel it in my heart. There's amazing artists out there, but they just don't have the opportunity anymore. But when they do get it, like shit, like I saw the TV glow. I almost said I seen the TV glow. Listen, this is how you know that I am in fact biracial, because I speak 2 languages. I seen the TV glow, guys. I really wanted to say that too, like that was about to roll off the tongue. But like, I seen the TV glow was a really good movie that fucking kicks the ass of every movie that I've ever seen before. Personally, it just resonates with me that much. But we've lost the craft for sure, and that sucks ass. And also, why do we live in a society, first of all? But why did that society phase out like fashion and grooming for men? Okay, because you look at these older films and the men, they got a fucking full beat on. They got pin curls. The tailoring, the men's fashion was gorgeous back then. The shit that they were doing, like, they were doing all kinds of fruity shit with the men's fashion back in the day, and I'm just here for it. Consider this: we had Cary Grant. I guess now we have George Clooney, but George Clooney can only go so far, because George Clooney at the end of the day is still starring in films that just are not that good. George Clooney will never star in North by Northwest. We had James Dean. We did. Not for long. This coincides with the fucking disintegration of movies. But when you look at men's fashion from like the late 90s into today, men's fashion, it looks the fucking same. It's fucking shirt, pants, t-shirt, jeans, t-shirt, slightly different color jeans. Isn't that so interesting? Like, they phased out fashion and grooming for men. So it's just a women's thing. You know, if you do it, you're sussy. But when women do it, that's required. It's like one of those things where I'm like, is it really getting better? And it's not. It's just getting like different. The landscape of men's fashion is what made me a BTS army, because I saw BTS, I was like, they be dressing. Obviously, they make more money if they divide the genders, like things for men, things for women. But why would you make less things for men? You should make more things. I should not give the man more ideas. I should not give the powers that be more ideas for how to exploit us. But like, if you want them, like, here's something that you could do. Give the man more things to buy. Because what the hell is that? So anyway, in conclusion, I am a white mom biracial, and I'm not a race traitor. I'm a white mom biracial Girl, it's time to go.